Now over to Northampton, where school officials confirm they're also dealing with a mold problem in two of their buildings. It comes as Western Mass News has received multiple complaints about different buildings with mold problems.
Western Mass News reporter Audrey Russo joins us now live in Northampton, getting answers on how mold growth in a building could affect people's health. Audrey?
Jordan, Chris, I spoke with an allergist, and I'll start with the good news. He says that toxic mold tends to be rare when it comes to growth in buildings and schools like the ones that we've seen in Western Mass. However, he says that people with allergies and sensitivities can still have their conditions aggravated. However, he says it is important to get the mold cleaned up. As we've said in this newscast several times, mold growth is delaying the start of school and court processes in Western Mass. Northampton high schoolers and JFK middle school students will have the start of class pushed back to Friday. The district is using a snow day, but to deal with a different kind of white stuff.
Ultimately, we found that there were 4 classrooms on the ground floor that had some mold and an area that we know as a little theater.
Superintendent John Provost confirms mold was found in both buildings. He says the school's use of increased airflow from the outdoors, intended as a COVID-19 safety protocol, resulted in humid air settling on surfaces.
This was all surface mold. It wasn't like in the tiles or in any of the other surfaces.
Provost says the surfaces are getting chemically treated. Mold growth concerns also led to the shutdown of South Hadley High School this week and the Roderick Ireland Courthouse in Springfield last week. Western Mass News spoke with an allergist about the risk this mold could pose to someone's health.
To have toxicity from mold is very difficult. The people who would get that are more like people who would be working in areas like in New Orleans. That's very different than having mold exposure in your house or even a school or a courthouse, as long as it's not overwhelming.
Dr. Bayek says cleaning up the mold is still important after long periods of wet weather and buildings sitting empty, because different health conditions can affect a person's mold sensitivity.
If you're allergic to mold and you have asthma, or if you have other allergic skin conditions or other pulmonary conditions, then it can be serious.
Now, Northampton superintendent says that the areas in the high school and the middle school where the mold was found will be closed off when students return on Friday. He says that there was some furniture in an elementary school that possibly had some mold growth, so they just removed those pieces of furniture altogether. And he says that the elementary schools will be starting on time tomorrow. Live in Northampton, Audrey Russo for Western Mass News.